everything's out of Chino. She was all playing against him, the whistle, the whole lot. He was smarter than I was, that's what. Oh, okay. This one's sweet. Yep, it does. But the backside here is got too. Slow down. You know Steve Ryan?
No, I really don't know.
They had construction for a while. They worked for him. Run the excavator, the cat, the backhoe, dump truck. I loved it. It was fun. Especially the excavator. I loved it.
Yeah. A lot of stuff.
I've operated a lot, but turned on.
Dad, you're killing me.
Seventh day, I was back to the phone. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, he's the one we've raised since he was 7 months old. My boys. My little hunt partner. I've been learning how to drive. But I'll come out to me out there, you can drive it home. Year before that, I take him out. Now you got a nice forefront. But the first buck, they're the biggest. Good job.
Okay, so why don't you guys park at this corner? Just like make a barrier.
Mitch told me to stay on that.
Kendall is showing really well.
She needs to drive.
She is.
She needs to like go.
No, she's doing really well. Again, she's doing fantastic. Here. Hold that. Hang on, Wyatt, I'll come. Leave the gate open.
Brushing off. Brushing off.
He's still in the middle of my granddaughter and her boyfriend.
It's okay, buddy. You're doing good.
They're both out to
Can
beat
you
each
push his
other.
face out? There you go. Push me.
Is she going to be No?
I don't know, Dad. Hold it straight, please. Did you say the penny?
No, he said
Isaac.
Yeah,
Yeah, that way your pig won't get any grumpier.
Huh? No, I didn't. You like some?
look right in front of the bed.
See, look, now he's perfectly happy. Just let me stand in the corner, I'll be fine.
They like this corner for some reason.
They want to go home.
Oh, yeah.
She's not gonna talk to.
Go figure.
I think that's what he did.
Yeah, I didn't see what happened. I think she got it.
We get out here into these heavy weights, and clearly you can tell the barrel in the corners kind of fighting. You know, we get into these heavier weights, and these hogs are kind of to their point where they're done. And so I completely understand if they're starting to fight a little bit. The biggest test is if they start fighting you and they don't break down, then at least you know you've got one that feet and leg wise is good. We get into this class, and I think the top 4 or 5 spots in this deal are extremely, extremely tough. And I think there's places you can go. And anybody around ringside could get in here and go a different way, and I'll listen to it all day long because I think it's justifiable. For me, I think I'm going to start with the young man's belted gilt. This one from the side, I think puts it all together the best. Very picturesque in terms of her profile and design. Really, really good in terms of her feet and legs and her athleticism. She just puts them down and plants probably the squarest and truest. This one is not the widest when you break her apart down low. The barrels coming in 2, 3, 4 behind her are probably more powerful and more pulled apart. But at the same time, that brings into some issues for those hogs, and I think that's where she sorts herself up for me. I think I'm going to change this one. I'm going to bust her apart through her center forerib and center body. She gets a little bit flatter in terms of her rib shape, but once again, one from the side that just kind of paints the picture for me. And then the young lady's gilt coming in second, I think, is one that has the power advantage and has the mass advantage. This is a really big back, thick-ended kind of a gilt. To me, she handles her feet and legs well enough, especially for as much mass and dimension as she has. For me, on this one, I'd pick her up at the point of her blade. I'd really like to fix this one through her ham-loin junction, make her a little bit leveler in terms of her hip, and smoother in terms of her ham-loin junction, and make her tie in a little bit better there. She wants to get a nickel tight the longer we go. The young lady coming out in third, this drives a really cool barrel from the side, and I told this young lady this is one I think we just need to freshen up in terms of his appearance. His chine's starting to come up. He's a little bit wastier through the lower 1/3 of his body, and if you study this barrel going away from you, he needs to set those feet and legs down squarer and truer at the ground, especially for how much mass and dimension that barrel has up high. The young man in fourth kind of comes out and draws the short end of the straw here with the black barrel that clearly didn't want to come to the show today. This is a big top, thick-ended kind of a barrel. This is a really productive barrel, a barrel that clearly has done well for this young man in terms of one that's gone to the feed pan and eaten and consumed like crazy. I'd like to see this one stouter featured down low, especially in terms of how much mass and dimension he has. This one needs to be bigger-footed and stouter bone. He can also be a little bit cleaner through the lower 1/3 of his body. I'd say we maybe have a nickel too much fill on that barrel for today, but one that I think, especially if he could get out and get driven, could probably sort himself up fairly easily. The young man coming out in fifth with the blue gilt kind of just falls into a tough class. I mean, this one, he kind of drew the short straw there. A gilt that's really extended, tall-shouldered, extremely shapely and lean. A gilt that, to me, we need to freshen her up
You're
in
in
terms of her
trouble
skin
now,
and
dog.
hair and her overall appearance. She just needs to be a nickel stouter featured, have a little bit more authority as she goes, and one that just kind of, once again, fell into a tough class.
Looney
The young man coming out next drives a really productive barrow in terms of his center body. This